There's a quiet force in your story that most never get to witness, let alone appreciate. Unseen eyes have been tracking your progress, not out of curiosity, but with genuine respect that's rarely voiced. There's a shift happening right now, and if you could sense how far your impact truly stretches, it would leave you in awe. Someone who seemed distant, almost unreachable, has been quietly inspired by your evolution. The surprise isn't just in their admiration, but in the fact that it's about to shape your path in ways you couldn't have predicted. Every choice you made, especially the ones that didn't make sense to anyone else, became silent signals to those attuned to growth and authenticity. Where others saw detours or failures, someone was mapping the depth of your character, recognizing a rare spark in how you carry yourself when no one's watching. The very moments that left you feeling separate from the crowd, the decisions that made you feel out of sync with the world, have now become the silent foundation of a turning point you never saw coming. Your journey wasn't a series of random events. It's been a pattern that only the right person would ever recognize. And now, that recognition is setting the stage for something truly unexpected. Rarely do people realize how deeply their presence affects the very architecture of their environment. In the background, figures you barely notice have been moved by the way you navigate uncertainty. Whether it's an authority figure who speaks in brief nods, or someone who once stood on the other side of your beliefs. Even strangers, passing only momentarily through your orbit, leave with a silent memory of your calm when tensions escalated. What you can't see is the turbulence unfolding inside someone who always considered themselves immune to influence. The narrative they built about discerning real from artificial, about never letting their guard down, has been shaken by witnessing your unwavering steadiness in situations where most lose their footing. There's a tug-of-war between what their mind tells them to expect and the undeniable evidence that their expectations no longer hold true. Recently, the impact you have on those around you has shifted from casual notice to silent acknowledgement. Traditional hierarchies, the kind that often dictate respect, are irrelevant. Your actions cut through those barriers and command a kind of regard that cannot be explained by title or status. Observers find themselves wondering how you maintain such balance when the same circumstances overwhelm others. People of all kinds, regardless of role or background, begin to look for the underlying secret behind your focus. What emerges is not luck or chance, but a quiet evolution, the kind that transforms pressure into a subtle magnetism. This presence becomes a signal, one that can't be imitated, drawing the attention of someone who had always been out of reach. They watch quietly, collecting insight after insight, piecing together a deeper understanding of your path. Their fascination isn't casual. It's the result of tracing every small act of courage and seeing how, even in private moments, your commitment never fades. Very few recognize how their trials have secretly honed their strengths beyond what even the toughest teachers could craft. At first, observation was nothing more than detached interest, but that has quietly transformed into deep admiration, an emotion demanding action. All the moments that once seemed overwhelming, each time a conversation turned tense or a person seemed impossible to reach, those instances quietly sharpened your ability to influence without direct confrontation. The ones who drained your patience or left you questioning your worth actually forced you to develop internal shields and an ability to detect interference before it ever reached you. Instead of slowing your path, every delay and unexpected twist increased your understanding of human behavior far past ordinary limits. What felt like obstacles were actually unorthodox lessons, preparing you for situations where most would find themselves outmatched. Now, someone who knows the true difficulty of shifting perspectives has been keeping careful notes, quietly marveling at your ability to spark change where others have failed. They've seen you bring together people who would never have crossed paths, watched you dissolve old tensions and rewire conversations into something productive. In their world, your particular blend of endurance and intuitive persuasion is exactly the missing piece they couldn't find elsewhere. Yet, as new opportunities approach, a storm of resistance seems to build. The escalation isn't coincidental. Distractions begin to multiply, not by accident but by design, precisely timed to scatter your focus at the very moment it's needed most. The friction in relationships, unexpected technical problems, and the appearance of trivial demands all serve a single purpose: to disrupt your clarity when you are closest to a breakthrough. This campaign of interference is not random noise. It's a last-ditch effort to keep you from noticing that what you've been preparing for is nearly within reach. Sometimes life seems to quietly arrange everything so that the only voices left in the room are the ones that truly matter. Those stretches of quiet weren't signs of stepping back. They acted as preparation for rare connections requiring you to be undistracted and entirely present. All those encounters that quietly faded, the roads that appeared to disappear, and the invitations that never arrived were really subtle adjustments steering your story, making room for the kind of experiences that can't thrive in cluttered surroundings. The sense of separation that came with this clearing held meaning far deeper than absence. Space was carved out, not just for relief, but to allow your mind and spirit to grow beyond the limits set by crowded spaces. With each moment alone, your perception gained a clarity that can instantly spot hidden motives or hollow promises. The difference between real and fake became obvious, and deeper patterns behind events began to stand out where before there was only noise. That heightened awareness will make all the difference when something unexpected lands on your path, especially since it's likely to arrive from a place you'd never suspect. What's unfolding isn't just a subtle shift in personality. It's a wholesale recalibration of how you affect your surroundings. What people now sense isn't a surface-level change, but a genuine light radiating from within, finally freed from everything that once kept it concealed. Wherever you go, there's a ripple effect. Those nearby find themselves thinking differently, even if they don't know why. There are individuals whose presence leaves an undeniable shift in every room, altering the course of those around them without intention or awareness. The way your actions ripple outward, quietly causing lasting change, is a phenomenon that doesn't need forceful display. Remaining true to your standards through challenging times has cultivated a kind of strength that can't be replicated by shortcuts or momentary applause. Incoming prosperity is not a compensation for hardships endured, but a reflection of your demonstrated ability to handle opportunity with clarity and responsibility. In seasons when returns were uncertain and applause absent, the discipline to maintain your standards became your signature. Every time progress slowed, your decision to persevere anyway quietly established your readiness for bigger roles, proving to those watching that you can be trusted with opportunities that others would squander. The fluctuations of your work were not merely tests, but gateways, each unpredictable swing assessing whether your commitment could hold steady without the promise of immediate gain. Someone attentive to this pattern has quietly observed how, even in lean phases, your work never became careless, and this consistent integrity is exactly what set you apart. What's now coming into view is the recognition that your unique blend of talents is not just rare, but necessary. Behind the scenes, doors have been opening, strategies have been shaped, and another person, someone operating on a different level, has come to see you as the solution to challenges that outpaced their former approach. They've taken the time to examine your process, noting how each setback only deepened your resolve and made your results more sophisticated. Without conscious coordination, your journey and theirs have been converging, guided by forces neither could fully trace. The offer that's about to materialize is much more than a new task or a change of scenery. It's a transformative juncture that will expand your influence to reach those who have been waiting for exactly what you embody. The magnitude of this next step is far greater than what you've envisioned. The impact stretches beyond your current understanding, touching lives you have yet to meet. This new alliance acts as a conduit between the life you know and a broader arena that's been quietly awaiting your arrival. The access, insight, and resources offered aren't just invitations. They're mirrors reflecting back your readiness to step fully into a purpose that has only been hinted at by your earlier experiences. In being recognized for who you are now, you'll find a clearer understanding of the scope of your own potential, finally matched with circumstances ready for your gifts. There are seasons when restlessness is not a sign of worry, but a signal that something enormous is shifting beneath the surface. An inner urge to question what once felt comfortable, a new unwillingness to tolerate what used to be acceptable, and a sharpening sense of what truly matters. These aren't side effects of anxiety but signals that your world is getting ready to expand. Restlessness has simply been your deeper self sensing the approach of major change before your conscious mind can catch up. Recent trials have not been random or pointless. Each scenario has been a final stage designed to prove whether your values can stand the weight of real power. Every situation that tested your core provided a stage for you to anchor the very principles needed for what's about to unfold. Encounters with people who tried to push your limits showed whether your resolve is built on sand or stone, while each moment you chose principle over convenience became a marker for the universe, proving your focus is set on the horizon, not just immediate comfort. Choices that once looked reckless, walking away from familiar faces, declining offers that dangled quick rewards, or keeping your standards despite being misunderstood, these decisions have quietly pulled your reality into alignment with a new chapter. The individual preparing to cross your path has been seeking someone whose choices reflect long-term vision, not mere survival. It's the repeated pattern of integrity that's made you stand out for the opportunity about to arrive. Momentum is gathering behind the scenes, preparing to raise your definition of normal to a level of support, recognition, and potential that you've only glimpsed in your wildest moments of hope. This shift is not a fleeting improvement but the arrival of new foundations, supporting dreams that once seemed impossible for lack of practical support. The coming wave of recognition is the world's answer to years of dedication that, on the surface, appeared unrewarded. The qualities that will open doors now were shaped in periods of obscurity. Adaptability that can outlast uncertainty, the kind of persuasive presence that shifts even stubborn perspectives, and an ability to inspire others to transform. The one extending this offer has spent time weighing every option, finding only in you the specific resilience and clarity required for what's to come. Every pause, each setback, every twist in the journey was never a denial, but timing working in concert with forces beyond direct perception. The new alliance forming is the result of both your preparation and theirs, a mutual unfolding where two journeys, once parallel and unseen, now meet at a crossroads that will open worlds neither could access alone. There are moments when events seem to conspire together, creating circumstances that feel both entirely unexpected and strangely preordained. Invitations are appearing that ask more of you than you've ever considered possible, challenging even your own sense of what you're prepared to take on. What's taking shape ahead will require a willingness to stretch beyond everything familiar, a step into potential that doesn't match any comfort zone you've ever known. This leap has been designed as a direct response to your preparation, meeting you at the precise edge where growth demands courage. Those presenting this new direction have observed in you capabilities you're only starting to recognize yourself. Their confidence is rooted not just in your results, but in the untapped strengths you've hinted at but never fully claimed. Their trust is meant to push you further, coaxing dormant abilities into the open where safer paths would have left them hidden. Day by day, unnoticed connections and passing encounters have revealed a subtler pattern of development. Seemingly minor incidents, handled with patience and ingenuity, have created a portrait of someone whose core is tested and proven, not just in easy moments but in the midst of challenge. Every disagreement, every difficult interaction, every test of your patience has contributed to a growing recognition that your steadiness under strain is genuine. Rather than looking for flaws, your observer has paid careful attention to the arc of your journey. Every visible evolution, shifts in how you approach your craft, the growing refinement in the projects you pursue, the inventive ways you overcome setbacks, has painted a picture of someone who does not give up simply because results are slow to appear. The steady improvement visible in your work is not lost on someone who understands what true persistence looks like. Even recent obstacles, the unexpected resistance, the confusing breakdowns, and moments when allies suddenly seemed adversarial, have served as windows into your real capabilities. Each test has been less about productivity and more about whether your focus can hold while others scatter. The ability to remain centered, to navigate complexity without losing sight of your priorities, has set you apart in ways that matter most to those watching from a distance. What has impressed your secret evaluator most isn't just skill, but composure. The way you chose not to react when others tried to bait you, the careful pauses in moments of accusation, the way you declined to defend yourself against every provocation. Instead of reacting, you've learned when silence carries the greatest strength, a sign that your actions are guided by something internal, not dictated by whatever noise surrounds you. Sometimes, A person's growth sends out subtle waves that quietly shift the landscape of everyone they encounter. Short meetings linger in people's memories, leaving them unusually uplifted for days. Simple conversations unexpectedly become the spark that helps others see from a new vantage point, unlocking ideas or hope that weren't visible before. Even in larger gatherings, your presence can quietly transform the atmosphere, making the impossible seem within reach, though nobody can quite put their finger on why. Recent creative work has taken on layers of depth and complexity that suggest invisible preparation for something far bigger than its current setting. Projects started away from the spotlight show flashes of brilliance and wisdom earned through persistence, not theory. Each written page, each innovative solution, each breakthrough in communication demonstrates a hard-won clarity that comes only from years of explaining difficult truths to skeptical minds. There's someone who's been quietly measuring your journey against a nearly impossible standard, looking for a rare mix of vision, discipline, intuition, and real-world results. The search has been long and often disappointing, but the discovery of all these strengths woven together in one person has made the choice surprisingly simple. The experiences you've had with draining or demanding people have secretly been rehearsals, refining your ability to spot and neutralize patterns that might otherwise erode your effectiveness. Those who sought your attention without giving anything in return, who undermined your efforts or questioned your boundaries, unknowingly became catalysts for your mastery in self-protection. Each challenge sharpened your discernment about which connections serve your purpose and which quietly weaken it. Stepping back from certain circles hasn't been about hiding, but about choosing your influences with new intention. When familiar routines lost their appeal, or certain places suddenly felt less inspiring, these weren't signs of loss. They were your inner guidance moving you toward the settings and people who could nurture your next breakthrough. All the while, someone else has been experiencing their own inner shift. At first, doubt colored their view, but each encounter with your work quietly unraveled those old beliefs. What was once skepticism has been replaced by growing respect, a change within them as meaningful as any transformation happening in you. The momentum building in their mind is now pushing them toward real-world action, turning silent recognition into something tangible. Every interaction, no matter how seemingly insignificant, quietly contributes to the broader story others tell about you. The dinners, the handshakes, the shared laughter in rooms full of strangers, all these moments have been piecing together a narrative of reliability and depth that is impossible to fabricate. Your reputation is now a living testament, shaped not by formal claims or curated highlights, but by the steady rhythm of everyday integrity. In a world where many compete to outshine one another, your way of operating stands out for its authenticity. Competition has never turned you bitter or small-minded. Instead, you've lifted up those around you, encouraged peers, and kept your eyes on your own growth. People used to constant rivalry have found themselves unexpectedly inspired by your generosity, and this fresh approach has shifted perspectives in places that once valued only self-advancement. Obstacles in your current surroundings have been more than challenges. They've acted as training grounds. Tight budgets forced creative thinking, friction with difficult personalities developed your diplomatic finesse, and inefficiencies sparked innovations that wouldn't have existed otherwise. Someone with a discerning eye has recognized that what appeared as constraints were in fact the scaffolding for your expansion. A certain symmetry will reveal itself as things progress. The traits that once set you apart and made you feel out of step with the crowd now emerge as precisely the features that drew the right eyes to your work. Moments that seemed pointless or unfair transform into proof that every experience was leading to this convergence. What once felt disconnected now forms a perfectly woven story. The influence you've had often went unnoticed by you, yet left a powerful imprint on others. Small gestures, an encouraging message, patience in the face of frustration, or simply refusing to take shortcuts, became touchstones for people who remembered them long after. These ripples have carried your name into rooms you've never entered, creating a sense of intrigue and interest that keeps growing. Meanwhile, the individual now considering reaching out to you has been working through their own transformation. Years of skepticism had hardened their view of collaboration, but your unwavering reliability has gently undermined those old beliefs. Each time you delivered beyond what was promised, another barrier fell, leading them to reconsider what is possible when true commitment is present. Your ability to remain steady under fire has also stood out. When tension rose, you responded with reason, not reaction. In the face of harsh words or provocative situations, you displayed poise and wisdom, choosing your responses carefully. This kind of self-control is rare, and has convinced more than one observer that you possess the mindset necessary for high-stakes, high-pressure roles. Where others might falter, you stand firm. Long-term vision is rare in a world obsessed with shortcuts, but your journey has quietly prioritized depth over spectacle. The way you've approached growth hasn't relied on chasing shiny solutions. Instead, you've put in the hours to rewire core abilities, choosing steady mastery over quick results. Skills developed in the background, the grit to wrestle with difficult challenges when nobody was watching, and the humility to keep learning without applause. All of these have signaled to careful eyes that you're ready for more than temporary success. The tension created by difficult people in your orbit has done more than test your patience. These challenging personalities were like hidden mentors, shaping your ability to mediate tension and hold your ground under pressure. Their presence has offered a unique arena for refining diplomacy, showcasing your capacity to stay professional in situations that would rattle most. These experiences are now serving as proof points for someone who understands how crucial these traits will be when you step onto a larger stage. Resourcefulness in lean times has become another hallmark of your story. Through every tight period, you refuse to drop your standards or chase immediate payoffs at the expense of your larger vision. You invested in your own progress even when the outcome was uncertain, revealing to the watchful that your principles won't waver simply because the situation gets tough. This ability to steward resources wisely is what's making doors open for you now. The person quietly assessing you has been paying close attention not just to your victories, but also to how you handle setbacks. Both humility in the face of praise and composure in moments of disappointment have set you apart as someone not easily swayed by external validation. This ability to move gracefully through both highs and lows is rare, and it's a crucial ingredient for the journey ahead. In the background, your intuition has been quietly preparing you, nudging you with dreams, sudden insights, and a growing clarity about what you'll no longer compromise. These flashes of inspiration, these moments of knowing, have all been aligning you with the bigger opportunities heading your way. Even your travels, the new places you've visited and the perspectives you've gained, have been strategic without you realizing it. Meeting people from different backgrounds, absorbing fresh ways of thinking, and expanding your perspective were never just random experiences. They've been the building blocks for the new world you're about to enter, connecting the dots for opportunities you never imagined would come full circle. Consistent progress in your well-being has been laying a foundation far beyond physical appearance or stamina. The discipline shown in reshaping your health, the mental clarity developed through movement, and the renewed strength echo a deeper recalibration meant to sustain you through times of rapid growth and heavy responsibility. Every improvement wasn't just for self-care, but part of a hidden infrastructure being built for a life about to expand far beyond its current pace. Your private rituals, whether quiet moments of reflection, reading, or silent focus, have been constructing internal pathways to wisdom that will become essential as life grows more complex. The routines that once felt personal have, piece by piece, connected you to a broader sense of direction that doesn't come from logic alone. These practices have tuned your instincts, giving you access to insights that can't be found in books or ordinary conversations. The individual whose path is intersecting with yours has also been following their own signs and signals, preparing in their own way for something larger than themselves. When the time comes, the synergy between both of your journeys will be unmistakable, a meeting shaped by preparation neither could have orchestrated by willpower alone. The opportunity presented to you is one that's been searching for not just skill or knowledge, but a complete readiness, mind, body, and intuition in alignment. Countless prospects have crossed their path, but only now has the full match appeared. When everything finally falls into place, the magnitude will be undeniable. Threads that once seemed tangled will reveal a perfect tapestry, and every challenge, every lesson, and every fading connection will be revealed as a necessary part of this pattern. Skills that waited quietly in the background will move to the forefront, and difficulties that felt unfair will be reframed as crucial preparation for the demands now arriving. The figures who've observed from a distance will step into view, their intentions made clear at last. The veil will lift, and recognition will arrive with such precision that calling it coincidence will seem impossible. The truth that's always echoed in your quiet moments, that you're meant for something rare, will finally be validated by those who are ready to support your true scope. This new alliance will not only see your value but provide the setting and resources for you to create at a scale that fits the depth and reach of your potential.